the poor witch doctor walked by, and it's a very easy kill. Dan on the witch doctor just doesn't learn his lesson. I don't really know what's going on with Dan.
Here's
Poor
Riki.
Dan, man. I mean, Dan, I hope he wasn't having a rough day because this isn't too fun. Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I want to talk about one of the coolest mid lane trends I've seen in a while. This is a strategy that was recently picked against OLG as well in one of their official matches, and I honestly believe it looks very powerful, as cheesy as it looks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to Meteor, Hammer, Riki mid. You heard that right, Meteor, Hammer, Riki mid. So let's look at this game by Gunnar, the mid laner for Nouns, rank 86 player in Europe, which is like 10.3k MMR or 5k MMR, something absurdly high. And you can look at his build, right? It's Meteor Hammer into Treads, Magic Wand, Raindrops in the laning stage. From there, he picks up a Diffusal Blade. After Diffusal Blade, he goes for Manta. Pretty good game for the Manta style against the blast off of Riki, Silence from Huerta, so it's definitely a solid game, and it's just a good damage item. And then you pick up actually an Octarine Core into Aghanim Scepter. So a very weird set of items, but we're going to talk about how Smokescreen enables this Octarine to be broken, why the Meteor Hammer is just incredible on this hero, and how Gunnar goes 35 and 39.
Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the Game Leap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the Game Leap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there.
So one thing I will say is I don't think Riki is the most incredible mid lane hero when it comes to laning. I think he's fine because you have 66 damage with 6 armor and 315 movement speed. You also have 4.6 base HP regen. It's high base HP regen. And then you're going to rush a Ring of Health because that builds in a Meteor Hammer. So essentially the concept, I'm not going to really talk about laning. Use Blink Strike to secure creeps. You can use Smokescreen if you want the enemy to not be able to cast a nuke on the range creep or something like that. So there's some interesting tech with using Smokescreen to prevent like a Puck Orb or, you know what I mean, a Shadow Fiend Raise or something like that. But for the most part, Riki, you're not looking to like own the lane. That's really not the point of this hero. So skipping ahead a little, just because I do want to make sure you guys see the order of the items. At level 4, he's going to be 1-2-1. This tends to be the skill build. You want to max Blink Strike as soon as possible. This is going to be your ganking spell as it slows and allows you to close the gap for very minimal mana. And then he's going to pick up the Ring of Health into Raindrops. The Raindrops are going to help your mana problems and allow you to deal with all the mid laners who spam nukes. You know what I mean? A hero like Storm, a hero like Muerta, Shadow Fiend, Puck, Quap, etc, etc. Now eventually after a decent laning stage, typically you're going to look to start to pressure the mid tower. However, what Gunnar does this game is pretty cool and it's very aware. I definitely think that's a strength of him as a player. I've played quite a few games against him and he's very good at identifying the kills in the side lanes. And Riki, even without boots, one of the nice things about this build is most heroes without boots struggle. But at 315 base movement speed and 2 Blink Strikes, as well as, you know, your tricks of the trade to close the gap, Riki has no problem without boots, sticking on top of targets. So he sees 2 low HP heroes diving the poor Crystal Maiden, TP's in, smoke screens, helps her get out, beautiful TP from the CM, and he's able to chase down 2 heroes and pick up a double. So you can see, without boots, no problem. Obviously, you don't want to TP and try to kill full HP heroes. That's probably a bad idea, but dives, extremely punishable, definitely by Riki. From there, you want to head back to the mid lane and start to, you know, begin your Meteor Hammer shenanigans. He actually was walking around here to Meteor Hammer the mid tower, but the poor witch doctor walked by, and it's a very easy kill. You want to Smokescreen as late as possible. He probably should have used, maybe he was trying to save mana, I don't know, but he probably should have Smokescreened at the end of the Meteor Hammer stun there, just to make sure no spells can come out. So it's a very simple combo. Meteor Hammer, Blink Strike, auto attack, auto attack. Don't use Tricks of the Trade early. Tricks of the Trade should be almost used solely as a disengage spell or as a finishing spell. It's very low DPS, level 1 Tricks of the Trade. It's quite pathetic actually. And so you're way better off just auto attacking and using that Blink Strike to secure kills. From there, he's going to ship out a couple Clarities. You definitely need mana regen to make this hero work in the early game, and he's going to make a rotation to bottom. It's a pretty crazy rotation as Pudge is pretty tanky. I think this Pudge, he's a Vanguard. It's a very confident gank. You know what I mean? Like, but the thing is, something like the Meteor Hammer doing 510 magical damage allows you to get through a hero like Pudge, which is pretty crazy, right? But they end up finding the Witch Doctor, so whatever. They go for a little combo. Unfortunately, it accidentally gets I would imagine he did not have vision for that hook, but but either way, they end up finding the hook. Doesn't matter. He's able to drop the smoke screen, and they're going to eventually dive onto the Pudge. The only reason he uses Tricks of the Trade there is to avoid the Dismember and avoid some of the rot damage, right? So you can tell it does no damage, right? You want to use that Blink Strike, and auto attacks for damage. Tricks of the Trade really should be used to dodge spells, never to actually do damage. From there, he's going to help his team pressure the bottom tower a little bit, and that's the cool thing about this build. With the Meteor Hammer, you actually take tier 1 towers. As the Pudge does TP back in, he tries to smoke screen to help him out, but to no avail. I think actually maybe he could have tried to stick around if he was a complete psycho and Meteor Hammer the tower. It actually is in range to die to the Meteor Hammer because towers actually have no magic resist. So the Meteor Hammer does, it's not the same amount of, it does 75 less. So it's still 400 and, I'm not going to do the math. I'm from North America. I can't do that. It's way too hard for me, but it's 510 minus 75. So you guys get the point. And then eventually he's going to walk back mid and Dan on the Witch Doctor just doesn't learn his lesson. I don't really know what's going on with Dan, but you can see. Following up, probably should have Blink Striked a little bit earlier, but doesn't matter. Meteor Hammer does way too much damage in the early game. And Gunner picks up another kill. And from there, he's just running around, man, as he snipes the courier. That was pretty bold. But yeah, they're going to chase on to the Brewmaster here. Definitely a pretty hard hero to gank as they're trying to set up with the Meteor Hammer. But I don't know, this play is a little bit weird. I will admit, like, killing heroes from full HP, especially strength heroes, is not the strength of Riki. You're much better at picking on these intelligence or agi heroes. This play right here was pretty crazy to me. I honestly didn't think he would have the damage, but talking about picking on agility heroes, he's actually a full level behind this Morta, but this Morta's item build is not very tanky. And so he just sets up with the Meteor Hammer as she walks over, goes in, Blink Strike to make sure he can hit from the back, hit it from the back, Riki's motto. And then he's going to follow in with the Blink Strike. Nice little glimpse to keep him in the smoke screen. Tricks of the Trade only to finish the kill. Keep in mind he also used Tricks of the Trade after an auto attack, so he canceled his animation with Tricks of the Trade. And what you can do is you can auto Tricks of the Trade, cancel the Tricks of the Trade, and then auto again. So it's actually the most efficient way to finish kills. You only shouldn't do it if you want to disengage. But yeah, look at the movements from him. I mean, gets a kill mid, knows that the bottom lane is going to assume they're safe, heads over and is going to find a kill onto Monkeys Forever here. So just great movement. 8-0 at the 12-minute mark after honestly a not great laning stage. Like he really didn't, I didn't show you guys all of the laning stage, but he actually didn't do the best in the lane. So this is quite the performance coming out of the lane. In this upcoming team fight here, we're going to see Gunner put on a show. Honestly, the enemy team messes up a little bit. Maybe he should have died. I'll be real, but either way, you're going to see the mechanical skill, the skill usage of Gunner is really great in this team fight. And it allows him to clean up the enemy team. So he's playing the outside. He has a sentry on the ground here, so I think that's why he's so confident walking up to them. And that's something you can abuse. If your team places a sentry in a general area, you can kind of play that area and assume you're safe. And so yeah, he ends up seeing the Witch Doctor on the side. Poor Dan, man. I mean, Dan, I hope he wasn't having a rough day because this isn't too fun. Honestly, I don't really like that he uses Tricks of the Trade there. I don't really know why he did. Maybe he was afraid of getting lifted by the Storm Panda, in which case, okay, I totally respect it. And he's going to try to kite out, right? Waiting for the Tricks of the Trade to come up. He ends up getting lifted by the Brewmaster, and this is where I think maybe he should have died. Realistically, they probably could have feared him if he was faster on Muerta here, but they missed their spells. And then again, he's going to go back in, right? He's having patience, waiting for someone to get isolated, allowing his team to get in position, gets lifted again, and once again, I think this is where maybe he should have died, but oh god, nice glimpse from Disruptor to actually prevent the dismember. I will say, that was a nice play from Disruptor, but they missed the blast off, and yeah, he's able to drop the smoke screen. And keep in mind, at level 10, he actually did skill smoke screen radius, which is pretty good, right? So smoke screen radius just makes this ability insanely large, right? It's absolutely huge. And so that's going to allow him to survive, kite out, and wait for the next Tricks of the Trade. And you don't need Tricks of the Trade to go in, but it's kind of just a good like benchmark for when it's probably time to kite back in, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? If you don't know when, like maybe you should reset and go back in, you can wait for your smoke screen, you can wait for your Blink Strike charges. You kind of just want to wait for people to be ready, but it's a great smoke screen to save the Primal Beast. I mean, this ability is just so stupid, man. I hate smoke screen. It's such a low cooldown at 11 seconds, so he's going to save the Primal Beast. Go on to the Brew Panda. Actually almost dies here again, but he's pretty tanky. Pops this magic wand, gets off the Tricks of the Trade. You can place Smokescreen while in Tricks of the Trade, which he does here to prevent Muerta or Brewmaster from truly chasing, as they both get silenced and have a ton of mischance. This is like a pseudo Disruptor ulti here. And yeah, they take them all down. So pretty ridiculous hero you can see in this team fight. The amount of kite potential. Smokescreen is just like literally one of the most obnoxious spells in the game. And they win the fight. Now, what's really cool about mid Riki is how you scale. It's not like the old Rikis. The old Rikis, you would tend to build into right-click. You would want to aim for something like Ags into Daedalus, Ags into Nullifier. Some people would even go Battle Fury back in the day. But this version of Riki is completely built around utility. After picking up the Diffusal Blade, which he used in the teamfight to kill Dan for the 14th time this match, he then is picking up his Shard. So you're sort of playing like the old support Riki, but, you know, old support Riki got nerfed because the Shard, it's good still, don't get me wrong, it got nerfed really hard, but it's still good, it's just not as good. But, you know, mid Riki, who has a lot of net worth, can scale regardless of that. Mid Riki also hits level 15 faster, and level 15 is an insane timing. 4-second smokescreen cooldown. That makes one of the best abilities in the game a 7-second cooldown. And so you'll see in this team fight here, as he's going to kite the outside, they're going to move on to the Riki, drops a smokescreen to prevent any sort of blast off or taser. Then he's going to chase on to the Pudge. Most of the enemy team is dead at this point, so he definitely feels confident as he snipes a courier. And then he's going to head towards the Pudge. Takes a bit of a risk using tricks of the trade aggressively here, but drops a nice smokescreen to silence the Storm Panda, the Pudge, and the Brew. However, he's so fast, the Pudge ends up BKBing here, and he knows, okay, this is not my time to fight. Don't give him the dismember target, don't give him the ability to heal here, just wait out the BKB. And unfortunately, Primal Beast didn't get the message. They probably should have waited it out, but either way, it doesn't matter. They're going to end up picking up the Pudge, as Brewmaster tries to continue to save the Pudge, but another smokescreen! And then another sleeping dart, and then a defusal onto the Pudge. The amount of control he's providing here is insane. It just is. And then again, when this ends, another smokescreen onto the Brewmaster. And he couldn't get his ulti off that entire fight. I mean, maybe he could have, but he would have had to use it at an unopportune time. He would have just used it like at some random time where it didn't necessarily have as much of a purpose. Brew tends to want to bait and then ult, like drop a little bit low, then ult. But the smokescreen, it's a 1-second downtime, and the Brew couldn't even get off his spell. Now at level 25, this is when Riki truly becomes fun. Like, pretty damn crazy. Because at this point, you have cooldown on smokescreen, cooldown on Blink Strike, and cooldown on Tricks of the Trade. All three of your active abilities have, well, I guess not including Sleeping Dart, have a cooldown talent, -4 seconds. So Smokescreen with Octarine is a 5.3 second cooldown on a 6-second duration, Blink Strike is a 4.5 second cooldown, and Tricks of the Trade is a 6-second cooldown. So your hero just has like infinite spells. You're like almost impossible to kill. Of course, he doesn't have a BKB, but at 3k HP, he's damn tanky. And at this point of the game, it's kind of just enabling your teammates to find the damage and setting that up for them, right? He'll look for low HP targets and try to finish them off, but you can see Smokescreen to try to enable the siege, waits a little bit for the Spectre to go in, drops a Sleeping Dart onto the Brewmaster, then has to kind of try to look to save the Spectre. So he drops another you won't believe it, Smokescreen. From there, he's going to kite out, making sure his positioning is very defensive, as you don't want to get your Manta style forced early. The key is to try to hold it as long as you can to make sure you can stay safe. So he's going to drop, well, you probably guessed it, a Smokescreen onto 3 heroes, and that's going to make the Witch Doctor just instantly die to CM ult and nearly the Brewmaster as well. If he was a little bit faster, maybe he could have smoke darted the Brew here and gotten off another Smokescreen and prevented Brew from getting ulti off. So a little bit slow in that case, but either way, drops the smoke, gets it onto the Pudge. That's going to allow him to finish off the Pudge as the Primal Beast comes in. And eventually, they just can't kill him. Like, he's too tanky, he's too mobile, and he can just Meteor Hammer the tower. It's pretty funny. Is he going to jump the Riki here? Oh, is this enough damage? No, okay, it's not. Maybe he could have darted him. They're really trying this 1v9 play. Oh, Spectre's going to buy back. That's probably going to be enough. Does get hit, unfortunately, by the blast off. Shouldn't matter, though. And yeah, you can see these long, drawn-out fights favor this hero, I mean, so much. You could see. It's like he's not taking any damage. You might be like, oh, but he's not killing anyone that fast. I'm not exploding people like my Deso Butterfly Daedalus build that I do. But it's like, yeah, but you don't place many smoke screens at all, and if you mess up even once with those items, you instantly die. So, you know, there's ups and downs to everything, but I definitely think this build scales better as the items are way cheaper and have earlier timing, so it enables you to actually be a threat throughout the early game and provide some tower push as well as utility, and it scales well. So like, I just think that anyone who argues for the DPS build, I can see it. In some games, maybe it's okay, but this build is just so reliable and counters all types of team comps. As Smokescreen, once again, it's just a silence and mischance. It's like it counters physical, it counters magical, you know, it just, once again, the crazy spell. But alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to end the video there as they eventually close out this game where they got 70 kills and 40. Who has all the deaths? Dan has 20 deaths, Monkeys has 13, Iggy Bones with 16, Jim Park with 12. Are they gonna kill him here? I'll end the video here if he dies. Actually, I'm ending the video here no matter what, but they really are trying. The enemy team definitely lacks a hero that's gonna kill. I would say Muerta's probably okay at killing Riki. I would imagine the calling is like not bad as you can set it up on Tricks of the Trade, but I don't know. Are they gonna kill him eventually? Maybe? No. Another Smokescreen. Yeah. Riki comes in. Okay. Alright, you get the point. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.